Amen. Can I also just address you one thing? It's never a action. I find that when it's sometimes just always roll it. Let it just always roll. But you just check like if you can't do with one letter, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You don't know what this is happening. She was supposed to be out. Your Oscar. Then you try to send 7,000 messages. Show my
Press that for me. I don't know.
What's the word that you used? This is the process.
Oh.
Hey cutest ones, hope you guys are doing well. I'm so excited to do this. This is another round of it. This is, the real cute mess with me, Kgosi. And I think the more I do this, I'll be cute with it. So for the guys that have checked out last week's show, thank you guys so much for supporting. I had my very good friends actually told me, we appreciate that we still experience you, even if it's a podcast, which is something that I think it's very nice when somebody says, hey, what you're doing is great, and it doesn't come from everywhere, it's just you being. So I think I'll never run out of inspiration, if you know what I mean. And then for those who are new to this channel, I'm sure if your partner told you to like and subscribe, because every single human being that I see on their phone, I live in my name, I literally tell them, hey, please stop, please go through your phone, can you please like and subscribe? So that's what I do. I literally am about it, because I've been doing so much research trying to understand why. And so a friend of mine said, why don't you just let it be organic? I'm like, I get it, but I also want to have fun with this. I want people to become part of it. I want to grow the community of the cute ones, which is this real cute mess. With me, Kgosi. I need to learn to breathe. So today the show is going to be really exciting. I am currently waiting for. I have this very cute friend of mine. We've always helped each other when it comes to she's an amazing musician. She does great festivals, and she belongs to a very big band it's like an underground band called Kgosi. Analyzer, a very good friend of mine. And I had asked her, baby, because she's not forever in Johannesburg, so I'm like, I'm doing the podcast, you saw it. Do you want to pull up? She's like, yeah, sure, we'd do it. We confirmed Izolo, which is Saturday. Today's Sunday. I'm sitting with my friend, I'm waiting for her to pull up. Then she got a really important meeting she had to attend to, which I thought would take like an hour or two, but creative meetings always take longer. So it was a lot of that, and I'm still waiting for her. So she's going to be my guest today, and I think one of the reasons I asked, one of the things that you guys will always see is with the guests that I have, it's not necessarily who can bring the numbers. It's not. I don't ever think I want to ever have this little show of mine and have some famous person here that I'm not necessarily inspired by, or how can I put it? Because it doesn't necessarily have to inspire me, but if it's a community conversation, I'm not going to have somebody in the show because they are a very beautiful person. I mean, we have a lot of those. I would definitely want to have somebody that echoes some sort of a not motivation per se, but echoes some sort of a self-mastery, whether it's in their craft. If it's a cleaner that's the best cleaner, I want that person on my show. If it's a security guard that everybody has been knowing for the past 10 years that they can talk to when they're tired, I want that person on my show. Because I think sometimes social media allows us to package it so well, and then you become addicted to that. And I hope that this cute real mess would be nothing like that. So guys, also not forgetting, we will also be having a real cute mess, which is just something it's something tasty. So it's waiting for her, my guest, and then what's the other one? Why am I just mumbling today? That can be cut up, right? I'm sure that one can be cut up. You could definitely cut that out. What I'm also really excited to share with you guys, I have been, my brand is called No Modern Slave, which is a fashion brand specializing in indigenous art, costume and set design. I want to take you guys through the journey, really just as an artist and an expresser. How do I allow such stubbornness in my work and my expression? So stay tuned for that as well on The Real Cute Mess with Kgosi. Cut! There we go. So, welcome again. Guys, hi cute ones. Hope you guys are doing cute. I'm doing very cute. Welcome to The Real Cute Mess with me, Kgosi. So what I wanted to share with you guys who don't really know, I'm not a podcaster. Somebody made it a line to me, they're like, you're the designer with the podcast. I'm like, I like that, that's fun. But my work stems from a brand called No Modern Slave. Had I explained, I'll probably be talking about my mom a lot, only because she's been my greatest inspiration in my work. She was a very confident woman that had that great love to express heritage, her culture, through art, dance, theater, costume and set design. And I think when I started this as a fashion designer, it felt somewhat different sorry. It felt somewhat different because it was put in a box as a fashion designer. So when I was studying at Northland College, trying to get into schools, I worked as a radio presenter first at Radio Riverside, which is now been to my local station. And I'll tell you guys a lot about all of that, my personal stuff. But I think the point was, I remember when I was 21, you know, obviously my mom had passed on. I got like my mom's money, and no, it wasn't I blew it episode. It was something very intentional. I think I always used to speak to my mom's spirit and tell her, Mommy, there's a specific way that I'm told to use your money, but I always feel like I can't ever get you back. And the day that my dad told me, yo, dude, your money has been released, your money is available, I looked at the amount and I'm like, there is no way that they took my mom away for this. There was just something about the fact that my mom had a job that I got very angry about, and the fact that I felt like my mom was living, she had such a beautiful life, but I felt like she belonged to such a system, and she always tried to find her own ways to just exercise her art and, you know, what she really loves. And then she was also a single mother. She had me, and I grew up with my grandparents who were amazing. But now that I'm old, I'm just thinking I would never ever want to dedicate my life to a system, even if it's for pension or what we call security. I'd rather take the risk and what they call struggle. And there's this word term going on, struggling artists. I'm like, they're probably the most happiest people that I've probably also met. But with that being said, I was like 24, 25, I'm in Uppington, and Uppington is a beautiful town. I'm from a place called Papalela, but I always felt so misunderstood. And instead of playing victim, I'm like, if you feel misunderstood where you're from, you have to have the bravery to leave. Right, if you claim to say, oh, Edgar, you're in suburbs, I don't know what people complain about wherever they live, but if you complain about something and you could literally just take the move, do know that, I think it's Mel Robertson that talks about the 5-second rule, and literally it's about 5 seconds for you to get all the excuses. So it's always so easy for you to come up with excuses why you wouldn't do something. I was just one person to like, dude, I lost my mother. What's worse than that? Like, I'm what they call an orphan, right? I just never ran with the tag orphan, because I always feel like, this is also something I wanted to mention. I feel like sometimes when you go through something, there's always an ism being created for it, and you become a victim of it. Now I have to be the orphan of that. I'm like, no, it's not that deep. I am literally just one boy that lost the mother, and the mother loved him a lot, and now he just has like abandonment issues. Kind of thing, that's like my problem. And then a friend of mine made a plan for me, and I decided to take my mom's furnitures that I had inherited, or that I rather bought when I was 21, and I decided to have a yard sale. And I have a picture, I'll put it somewhere up here. I decided to have a yard sale and invited all of my friends, and most of my friends who lived in Uppington weren't necessarily from Uppington. They were young professionals, they just got a job in the village. This is what happens when you get NSFAS, I think, sometimes. And this is not law, I am just assuming, but I kind of think it's the truth. You get this bursary, and then when you get a bursary, you're supposed to go to like a small town and go work there. It's part of our development thing, I think. And then these friends of mine, I think one is an optometrist, and she's from Limpopo. She came to live in Uppington. And then there's LK, he was in retail. He came to live, and I've another friend from Kenya. So all of these friends, in December, they go on holidays, and I'd be alone. And I told them, they always wanted to like, you know, we used to give to them, like, guys, this year, all we're gonna do is we're gonna buy presents. We're gonna buy presents, you guys are gonna give me these presents, and I'm gonna take all of this, and I'm gonna use my, because I think I worked at Radio Riverside, and I earned something like 2,500, and it was never about the money. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it, the amount of people that I met, the networks that I think it was such a great part in my life where I've met people that contributed so much to where I am today, and to my, I guess, belief in craft. So I had a little takeaway party. My I call her mother, because she was the one who took care of me. She was my neighbor, but she took care of me since I was very young, and daughter. And I had this little party for the kids. It was called Chiller for the Children, or Give to the Children, something like that, for my education. And I went to Cape Town, registered, got accepted. It wasn't that easy. I'll go through that, but I remember my final year, as final year student, you're supposed to like come up with a little collection. And I bought my material, and I was just not okay. I just felt something doesn't feel correct with this design. And I'm talking about beautiful satin, I'm talking about really stunning, exquisite, elegant gowns that I had sketched down that I was going to create. And I remember feeling that something does not feel well. It feels like I'm going to lie. This is the first time that I have an opportunity to exhibit as a student. And I have a choice to do something beautiful that I know everybody would say, oh my goodness, Kgosi, you're so talented. Or I can really allow myself to be a bit stubborn and design what feels right, and that's what I did. I bought Hessian, and I've got material, and it's like shwe. I'm hoping that there's going to be a little thing or thing. So it was like shwe fabric, and this shwe, it's like substandard quality fabric. So it feels like they had a lot of layers of paint, and they're cleaning the paint, and now all these prints are so inconsistent, it becomes thicker because of the acrylic paint in the textile, in the fabric. And I just loved it because it was so stern, and we all know when fabrics actually has, when fabric is slightly thicker, it's easier for you to mold into every desirable shape, which obviously as a designer, you would run for something like that, correct? And then I did that, I got the material, and I worked on that collection from like the Thursday until the next week Thursday. Made it all, and then it was the top 40 fashion graduates, and I became top 10. Long story short, I worked hard, a lot of things happened, doors opened for me, and there I was just making these I think my first collection, I'll put it up here, I had my first collection that was out, and my work was really very much inspired by my indigenous background. In 2017, towards 18 and 19, I went through what I call my spiritual rebirth, if I could say, or just surrendering so much to what you're going through, where your talent doesn't mean anything no more, because there's something beyond what you're good at that you're seeking, right? And that is why I became really in touch with my ancestral background, and it became the greatest influence of my work. And that is where No Modern Slave stems from. So No Modern Slave, people say, oh my God, it's such a controversial thing. I'm like, it really isn't about that. It's not allowing round 2 of what we call slavery, which this point is mental and it's spiritual. It's just not allowing that to happen. And the unfortunate part about it is, people make a lot of money of you, which is not wrong. People can make money of you if they make a TV and you want a TV, you can buy a TV. That's all perfect. But now the problem starts becoming when people can make a lot of money from your happiness. When people can tell you, this is what you need to do in order for you to be happy. When I can literally give you like, oh, the top 10 advice to seek happiness is doing this, and that. Now the second you're not stubborn and you're like one person, oh my goodness, I'm not feeling emotionally well, and you watch something like that, because you are like a sponge and you're not stubborn about truth, your own, that you haven't even allowed to dance, you will easily pick on what it is that I might be telling you. And that's what I think the second layer of slavery is. It's people really getting their ways through music. Like so many things. They're doing it so right? That there's people they choose to represent what we call freedom and liberation, but it's really just it's putting a price tag on your happiness. I had a good friend of mine is in the tourism industry, and I said to her, is there nothing freaky about you when you organize these tours? And she said, it's funny, my husband mentioned the other day that she feels like you buy a picture that looks like joy and happiness, and they spend so much money. And I think No Modern Slave as a clothing brand was really just to inspire people that, hey, you are allowed to express yourself in a way, whether it's what they call, okay, that's trendy, okay, that's amazing. Even in the absence of that external compliments, so that you don't seek to become part of what they want you to be so that they can feed and get all the money. So yeah, that's what I think No Modern Slave is really just that message, to be slightly stubborn in your stand for something so you don't fall for anything. I think Steve Biko said that, or Martin Luther King, one of the two said that, one of those two powerful people said something like that. But anyway, yeah, so that's a bit about No Modern Slave. I've worked on different collections. I'll tell you guys more about it as the time goes, and if you guys are still enjoying this very beautiful podcast called Real Cuteness, please give it a seat. This is a line that I hear in a song, and I think it's an artist performing in one of the shows. She says, with all positivities, that's Beyonce, man, in that flipping Beyonce concert. She goes, with all positivities comes some negativities. It wasn't necessarily negativities. Cape Town became a lot for me, and I think that's what ancestry can happen to you. They can just kick you. You had to wake up, and that's when I went back to Kuruman. Kuruman is my ancestral home. I'm from a small village called Peth, and it is really, yeah, I feel like that's my pool of inspiration, from color palettes to the love of my families and my grandmothers and everybody. So I think home, which is Kuruman Peth, became my haven for that year. And I remember there was an album. Amanda Black just came out with her album, and she had a performance, and she performed Amazulu live. It was like the last track of her whole set. I remember listening to that, and I was so moved and so inspired. And I'm like, I want to dress this woman. I was still in the village. I was just there training, just finished school, kept on too much. I went back and I'm like, I would love to dress Amanda Black one day. And with that, you know, you sometimes like plant seeds. Java had that album. And Java's album that just took me to places where I became very curious to what the future of No More Slave in the fashion space. And then he became the second person I wanted to dress. And there's Tandis Zwa, and there's the soul, and this lady in the soul called Butla Ndala. So all of this is just like little dreams I always had. And obviously people telling me like, yo, Kgosi, I think you should work with this. A friend of mine sent me the Project Runway little application, or a link to it, and I applied, and I got a call. And you know when you get a call and you're like, I am actually going to be in this TV show. I am going to be in this TV show. And I always said my work is so heavy that I don't feel like fashion shows will do it justice. It's either God needs to give me an opportunity to be on TV once, and the second I'm on TV, all I can do is let it just be who I am. And if society rejects me, then I just am like, well, yeah, let's change the environment. You know, that's how I am. And if it doesn't, at least you know you'll always draw inspiration from yourself and from the source. And with that being said, I got accepted. I came to Joburg, and you're not really in Joburg. You're in a house. You're in a house. It's a reality show. Wow. Whenever I look back at those videos of Project Runway, I feel a bit of like I feel like I was so naked there. I was so naked that even when I watched it, I cringed, because it's like how dare you be so naked, right? And because it's so vulnerable, that's why I cringed, not because there was anything wrong with it. It was just so vulnerable that I see how I just allowed Kgosi to just Kgosi it out, and then I didn't win the competition. Thank you, King Jesus. And I decided I want to live in Mabane, 12 Decades Art Hotel. This is my space, because the previous year I came here by accident. I ended up at 12 Decades Hotel, so I'd love to come live here. Got an apartment, and I started just working. Oh damn, gifty work. I worked. Was he drinking? And you know, I had an opportunity to work with so many people, and I have disappointed so many clients during that period. And not just, you know, when you can disappoint and you can get away with it, I find that one a bit very freaky. But if you can disappoint and you can get depressed because you're very disappointed in yourself first. Because I think sometimes when I was drinking, and I'm just really just going to my own journal, you get to a point where you've done it so often, and then people forgive you, then you just don't care. And I was just feeling, it was so bad mentally. I just felt sometimes as an artist, I failed myself. You know, somebody would order some things, and I would only deliver like a very while after that, like a very long while after that. And things wouldn't fit well, and a lot of designers go through these things, and they can really get to you, because as a creative, unfortunately, your expression is being monetized, you know, so there's like a quality, there's like a price to what you do, and that's a disgusting thing, well, for me personally, but I need to survive, and I didn't know that I would have to consistently do this just to eat, and I always try to never make my passion feel like that. If it feels like a job, I usually leave job and I go where I feel like home is home. But if my work starts feeling like a job, I'm usually just not cute. And in that period, I realized, and I had to really look at it, and you know, come back and realize there were so many things that I've done in my past while I was drinking, while I wasn't accountable. And this is particularly regarding my work, where I felt didn't give it much. You sometimes sit in a crowd and a crowd says, you don't be so hard on yourself, you're so amazing. You're like, no, I'm doing video. You know, I know what my amazing feels like. I just haven't felt like that in a very long while, because Joburg, right? And I guess what I'm trying to say is just I just hope you encourage all you guys who is watching this, who is a creator, who is an artist, who is not even, who's in the system. Or if you claim to love what you do, your dreams start feeling like they're not your own no more because pressures are so much. It's become just too immense for you to handle. That should somewhat be a sign that you need to look within. Because at times, we are really our worst enemies. We don't call ourselves out. We're nervous to call ourselves out. And it's easy to escape it and go get drunk, to go and flourish and forget about it. And then come back tomorrow and just continue with reality. And then go sit in the college. Yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm not to be doing the same thing for 10 years. You know? And I definitely think we're bigger than that. I definitely think there's a light in all of us that shines. And I'm so happy and so proud to invite you guys into my space where I can share my light with all of you guys. My name is Kgosi, and thank you guys so much for joining the cute mess. Yeah. I think that's time. Are we there? Are we good? Are we there? Okay.
Oh!
Okay, great. I think that episode is back. Cute ones gift Kgosi Lengya. I'm so excited. We just received No More Enslaved, which is my brand specializing in indigenous artistry. And for this recognition from the Fiesta Awards, which I think is such a beautiful initiative to recognize young and emerging talent and also those within the fields of tradition and preserving African heritage. Thank you guys so much for this one. I think this award person is my first ever fashion award in my specialty, which is heritage and culture of Africa. And it goes out to my late mother, who is the core of my brand. I definitely think South Africa, in terms of, you know, the fashion space and where we're at, I definitely think Africa has always been screaming, but for young pioneers to be recognized, it's actually how we open up so many doors for other young ones and inspire them for the village. I think this for me is just really for the kids in the village, to tell them that, you know, it's possible. Just have your dream, follow it, and do it authentic, and I think that is what we've achieved. So yeah, thank you so much, Fiesta, for this. Thanks for every single person that has voted for me.